As of today, with a few exceptions, every school has welcomed its students back to class for the 2021-2022 school year. Our schools, they have done this during the height of the pandemic, which this morning I will say is truly a testament to our dedicated teachers, our administrators, and our parents who believe in the power of in-person learning to educate the whole child emotionally, socially, and academically, who believe in the power of science to inform our decisions, and who believe in the power of teamwork. Our medical advisors, they keep us well informed of the pandemic daily. And our schools, they follow the guidance that we gave each and every one of them. And our families, they are using the tools that we make available for them to protect their children, their loved ones. That's what I call teamwork. It's working and it's truly impressive. Let me offer a good example this morning. As we shared earlier this week, students have had to quarantine, given that students are coming to school with COVID-19. We have what looks like a high quarantine rate among our schools. These counts are due to families doing what is right, getting students tested if they aren't well. These quarantines, these counts show that our schools are following the procedures laid out in our COVID care guidance, and it ensures that the entire community remains safe. That's what it's going to take. And those students and staff who have to stay home at this time, you have to look at it like this. They're doing their part to keep our entire community safe. And when their quarantine is over, we'll welcome them back and we'll continue to move forward. Because here at NOLA Public Schools, we are truly stronger together. We're also seeing more students get vaccinated. This morning, I want to just say congratulations to Frederick A. Douglass High School football team, who has now joined John F. Kennedy High School, the Cougars, as the latest team to be fully vaccinated. That's what you call real teamwork. And on Tuesday, our school board showed support for our proposal to make vaccinations mandatory. Again, to make vaccinations mandatory for all our central office staff. Most of them already are fully vaccinated. And as a school system, we're going to do what we can do to support those who still need their shots. We're leading, and as a team, and we're truly leading by example. And we hope that our efforts encourage our schools to do the same thing to help their educators protect themselves. And in case you haven't noticed, many of our schools have already announced that they have taken steps to make vaccinations mandatory for their entire staff. Now, I want to take a moment to talk directly to our parents. As a father myself, with a child who is now on a college campus, my daughter, she means the world to me. I would do anything in my power to keep her safe and make sure her education sets her up for a loving and a fulfilling future. And I know to our parents, you all are doing the same exact thing for your loved ones. And I want to tell you on this morning how grateful we are for that. The work you're doing for your children, you're keeping them home, when they're not feeling well. You're adhering to the quarantine. You're making sure before they leave home in the morning, they mask up as they head to school. You're making sure that they're getting tested regularly, and then those who are eligible for the vaccination, you're getting them and making sure that they get the shot. Parents, you're doing all of this as you're juggling your own personal lives through your work responsibilities and your home responsibility. And for that, you must be commended. You are the front lines in our effort to keeping all of our schools safe. I also understand that this is another uncertain time, which can make many of us as parents worried about what is best for our children, given the way the pandemic is impacting our broader community. But I promise you, we are following the advice of our health agencies and our medical advisors. And as always, we will make any decision needed to continue to keep our students and our educators safe. We will do our part once your child enters our buildings every day. But I cannot emphasize enough that you are the strongest hands embracing our students right now. And to our parents, again, I just want to say thank you on this morning. Meanwhile, we will continue to monitor the data carefully, which my team will talk about in a few minutes. And we will continue to take the necessary steps needed to keep everyone safe. At this time, I would like for our medical advisor, Dr. Ben Springate of LSU Medical Center, to discuss what we are seeing in COVID transmission trends. And this morning, I will ask him to offer some best practices to our parents so that they can use them to continue to protect their school-age children. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in and being here every single week to hear this very important information. And at this time, I'll turn it over to our medical advisor, Dr. Springate.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis. On behalf of LSU Health, the LSU Department of Medicine, and in collaboration with my colleague, Dr. Ryan Pasternak with LSU Department of Pediatrics, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here today with Dr. Lewis, Ms. Delcourt, Mr. Ashley, and our partners at New Orleans Public Schools, as well as all of you. I want to echo the positive comments and call out the strength and commitment we're seeing among students, staff, and families in the new school year. As we know, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Louisiana Department of Health, our partners at Children's Hospital of New Orleans, and the Louisiana Department of Education all endorse the return to in-person school right now with appropriate mitigation measures in place. The numbers we're seeing in our school communities are reflective of community spread in New Orleans and across Louisiana. While we've identified 299 cases as of Monday's case tracker report, we're seeing little direct evidence of spread in schools, which is why the Louisiana Department of Health, New Orleans Health Department, and other public health authorities have not advised school closures at this time. We've made testing and vaccination available across our school system, and we're seeing positive impact. We tested 1,000 students last week, doubling our record from the week before. Only 2% of those tests came back positive, far lower than the community's test positivity rate, showing that COVID is having a smaller impact among students participating in our testing program than it is across the city at this time. We have had 3,004 quarantines for possible exposures to the virus. Quarantine is one of the proven mitigation practices that reduces the likelihood of spreading the virus, along with masking, with distancing, vaccination among those who are eligible, reducing large group indoor activities, and other efforts. Through the safety measure of quarantine, students and staff who may have been exposed are staying home and getting tested and actively limiting the opportunity to spread the virus. You're seeing parents take proactive, diligent stances to protect their children. Out of the 299 cases we're tracking as of Monday's report, a third of those students and staff never set foot in a school, further slowing community spread. We need parents to look for symptoms in their children, and when they're not feeling well, err on the side of caution and keep them home. Similarly, parents who are sick with symptoms of COVID-19 should get tested, stay home, and keep their exposed children home until testing results return. If test results are positive, the children need to stay home in quarantine as well. Symptoms can appear 2 to 14 days after exposure. They can include fever or chills, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headache, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, or diarrhea. I applaud the diligence and proactiveness of parents and families getting their children tested and keeping them home when they are showing even one of those symptoms. The safe and effective vaccines available at no cost across our community remain the basis of our prevention efforts in the fight against COVID-19. It is time for everyone who is eligible to get vaccinated. As school starts, our schools are following the quarantine guidelines we provided to them. The number last week may seem high, but this is good because it keeps potential new cases out of our classrooms and schools. It is an effective measure in helping to prevent spread in our school buildings, just as this policy did for students and staff last year. We will continue to monitor the data carefully. We are in constant contact with the Louisiana Department of Health. I applaud our district and the schools for following the public health advice of these trained professionals at LDH when making operational decisions. At this time, we do not see uncontrolled or unmitigated transmission in schools, and LDH has not called for any school closures as a result. Believe the science. Get tested regularly. Get vaccinated if you're eligible. Wear your mask indoors in all school buildings. And if you don't feel well, please stay home. Thank you. I want to take the opportunity next to invite Tiffany Delcourt, the Chief Operating Officer of New Orleans Public Schools.